It's election season in Nebraska. And by election season, I mean it's the end of spring ball. And we're putting out commercials. And every big name supports Nebraska right now that has ever lived in Nebraska, played for Nebraska, or whatever it may be, because we are the spring game or the springtime national champs, Big Ten champs, Big West champs, Big Ten West champs, whatever you want to call it. We are professionals at overreacting about our ones beating our fours. You know, what on earth is happening now in this world? And now it's not even Nebraska. They're convincing ESPN, the FPI, or Scooby-Dooby-Doo rankings. Like, what are we doing? We are ranked number 35 in the nation, they say, from these rankings. I don't know if it's a real ranking. I don't know if it's made up stats, whatever it is. It's 35, and they publicly put that out there. ESPN did. And that puts us behind one Big Ten West foe, and that's Wisconsin. Everyone else is considered to be worse than us. How did we convince the nation and ESPN, Slaw?
We have a dang good marketing team, I believe.
You think it's that music video they put out on Twitter?
Yeah, I think that. Well, honestly, I don't know. I don't know how.
I think our music video person or other, rumor has it, they were the Backstreet Boys during their music video days. So, I mean, they'd sell things like crazy.
I think, ESPN, I don't understand how they work. I don't understand how they lay their head down on their pillow at night. They just come up with whatever they want to come up with to get sales and to get clicks. So if you follow that thread, it does make sense, because I will say Nebraska fans are strong group, meaning there's a lot of support for the team. So ESPN's looking at it and go, if we who can we give hope to that has a real strong base? And Nebraska's that. But
let me ask you a question. Was there a follow-up sponsor from Runza on that click? I'm just curious, because that would be it's called targeting marketing. That would be really, really smart of them.
Free Runza if you click on this and read this article.
Nebraska's ranked 35. Now go get a Runza for $1.
Now go get a Runza.
There's media in a nutshell for a guy that worked in media. Okay, got it.
If you click on this and read that Nebraska's number 35 in the nation, or that we are going to have a record of 8-4, you get a Runza for the degrees of the day.
Fact.
Yeah, I mean, to talk about the implications of rank number 35 in the nation. That's roughly a record of 8-4.
Yeah, it is a record. It would roughly be a record of 8-4, Scott. And think about it, like 8-4, that'd be pretty nails for this year. Do I think it's possible? I don't.
I haven't even looked at who they're playing, and I don't. I mean, I don't mean it to be mean. I don't even know who they're playing.
They were 3-9 last year.
Right. That's 8-4 would be a pretty big mountain to climb.
3-9 and
3-9. I forgot how disgusting.
3-9, and they lost a lot of their really good players. They lost actually their best players, and they're predicted to be 35. Not really sure how that works. I hope they brought in some absolute ballers. I really do.
Look, I'm as hopeful as anybody.
And we get better than 35. I really hope that we're top 25. But if you're doing rankings off the season before, it doesn't scream 35. It screams, I don't know, 105.
Out of 100, there's 120. Think about this. There's 100.
So that's wrong. You're right. 75 then.
There's 129 Division I teams. I just researched that. So we're talking about whoever throughout the gym that Nebraska might be in the top 35, might be ranked 35th. Like, let's go back to when I was growing up. if you would have told me we were ranked 35th, Tom Osborne would have been fired. Nobody, no one would have believed you. That would have been like, that is the most biggest misprint. Now people think it's good. That's the standard now.
Yeah.
And not only that,
Scott.
and not only that, he would have to double his wins and add 2 more to get to 35.
Oh my gosh.
If you look at it that way.
But Sly, did you ever feel it when you were in spring ball? The fakeness of the media? Like,
no,
it's a well-oiled machine. It's not like it's like, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I mean, they're going to kind of be
when I was there.
Oh my gosh, everyone's 5-star recruits. Oh man, we're going to have the number 1 ranked recruiting. Oh, and then when we're ranked like 47th, they're like, yeah, but they're really underranked.
Yeah,
when I was there, we never paid attention to the media at all. Like, it wasn't even a thing. There was no,
because it's been there every
videos.
Year. Yeah. But but I'm saying, like, the media's been there every day. Yeah. Your guys is the internal. The internal's just working overtime. I cannot imagine the hours the marketing department's putting in right now.
And not only
they are just trying to flip everything.
And not only that, they dictate what goes out to Nebraska media.
Oh,
because
yes.
if one station goes against them, they cut them off because there is no other players in the game. There's no pro teams. There's nothing else.
Okay.
But Creighton is
the one. This is the one game I'm worried about this year, Slaw. Or not rival, but kind of, that I'm worried about could be better and could take some. Not joking. Could take some of the like notoriety and whatever. Creighton football. You know,
they would crush it.
No, I'm saying I think Creighton's football team might be better this year.
Oh,
I'm not saying they're a threat. I'm saying, like, I think they're better this year. Slaw?
Didn't even know Creighton had a football team.
Well,
yeah, they don't.
Oh. But how amazing would it be if they did start one, because they know how to win there. They do. They know how to win. They would figure it out.
It's blue collar, like hardworking.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Nebraska's not, but I'm essentially.
It's not very showy. It's about the work. It is blue collar. It's the best way to put it.
Being within that athletic department, you're like, holy crap. Like, they're opposite of what I used to perceive them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I used to think them as like the snooty, rich people, yada, yada, yada. You get in there and you're like, oh my gosh, these guys are grinders.
I would love for somebody to make a coherent argument to me that we are better in any position than we were last year. I mean, maybe running back. Maybe running back will be better.
We were significantly better last year. We had so much talent. I mean, we had those COVID seniors.
Mm-hmm.
The JoJo Domans of the world, who was a baller. Maybe he wasn't a COVID senior, but he was a senior. I'm telling you, we had so many good players. Like, we really did, looking back, like at the beginning of the year, I was kind of like, we kind of had some dogs. Yeah. Now, maybe the coaching staff's going to be amazing. I have no idea. I can't speak for any of those guys. I know nothing about them. I've heard some stuff about Mickey Joseph, some really positive, but yet again, it's from our media. Like, if I can hear it from like someone outside of Nebraska, then it's credible. But like, I tend to believe Mickey, he has a pretty good resume, I think, but I don't know. I can't really speak for
it. You know, there's been a lot of focus on the offensive line this spring. And you hear a lot of things coming out of the marketing department and the media, how much better we're going to be, how hard these guys are working. Blah, blah,
my gosh. They're lifting their tails off.
Yeah. And that's all well and good.
Guess what? No one cares.
And there is a chance that our offensive line is better.
Really?
But I throw this back at you.
What center is going to be better than Cam?
We lost the leader of the offensive line.
The best offensive lineman by significant margins.
Yeah. Cam Jurgens is gone, declared for the draft, and I think he'll do well there.
Already kind of has, but
yeah, but I mean, I think he'll do well in the draft.
Yes.
That leaves a huge gaping hole. But I will concede that our offensive line was so bad that
it will be better. You're right.
We may be better. But I believe we're significantly worse at almost every other position. Now, Mickey Joseph has been doing some great recruiting things, so maybe our receiver core is going to be super strong. But I mean, just look at the defensive side of the ball. I mean, we lost almost everybody on the offensive side. I don't know if we still don't know if we have a running back yet.
Well, let's think about this though. We did lose Adrian Martinez. We really did. Samari Toure, who's a baller, that receiver from, I think he was from Montana.
Right. Austin Allen,
kind of a big deal. Cam Jurgens, super big deal. Like just off of those guys, it's like, oh man.
Right. So we're bringing pieces in, but we have no idea what they're going to be, how they're going to fit in. We have no idea. It's all speculation.
There is a receiver that played like the first game last year against Illinois and had a good game, then ended up getting hurt, and now he's healthy. So that's a positive. But I don't know. I don't know anything about this quarterback. Man, Dakota's name.
Dakota's Crawford. We got him.
The coldest name. Yeah,
I mean, if names could get drafted, I mean, he's top 10 easy.
So there's also another thing that came out, and it was on Twitter, and I hope it was from a fan. That's all I'm hoping, because otherwise it's like, oh my goodness, right? Someone predicted we're going to be 11-1. I don't explain the path to 11-1 for me, Slaw.
There is no path to 11-1.
Explain a path to a 10-2.
None.
Could you explain a path to 7-5 to me, Slaw?
I say it's possible.
It's definitely possible, because we've never seen this team. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
Or more than anything, we don't know this staff.
I like to speak in realities, and I would love for an 8-4 year. I would love it. I think it's going to be really hard to get to 8-4. Really hard.
Who's our quarterback? Aladdin?
I don't know who. I still don't know who our quarterback is.
Casey Thompson. He might be an Aladdin-esque. Maybe he has 3 wishes.
That's the Texas guy.
That'll get us 3 wins. Yeah, it'll get us 3 wins.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would love 8-4, because that to me tells me Scott's got this thing flipped around. I don't know how realistic it is. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. What would you like? We don't know much about this team, right? We really don't, because it's hard to pay attention to stuff here in Nebraska during spring ball, because you're reading a bunch of stuff that's not real. And I just have no interest in reading like something that doesn't have any validity to it. So that's hard.
To put in perspective, folks, look what happened last year coming out of spring. We were
what they say. I think they
champs.
said, man, they worked hard. Did you see them in the weight room? Oh my gosh, our culture's fixed. Guys, we're in year 73. I have no idea how long it's going to take to change the culture. I mean, in what we have been a part of, it takes, I don't know, a day or two to get the culture, as far as like the rules and expectations set. Sometimes to get your whole team on board, it could take a month, right? We're in year 5 or something, man. I don't know where we go. Maybe this new staff is gonna, I don't know. I hope, but like, let's stop blaming Mike Riley. I'm tired of this. I don't care what people think of him. He's been in college football for a long time. He's obviously a good coach. I don't care what anyone says. You don't stay in college football for that long. You don't take anyone in Corvallis, Oregon to a bowl game. You don't do that unless you're a good coach. You really don't. I mean, that's like living inside of a cupboard and saying, hey, do you guys want to come play football here? The cupboard might be more comfortable. Like, that's how bad it is out there. No one wants to go to Corvallis. They don't. They have no interest. No, really, no one wants to go to Portland. But Corvallis, no one wants to go there. Like, Mike Riley was not a bad coach. Was he what we saw as a great coach? Like, some people, even maybe us on certain things, like maybe there needs to be a little more structure. It's not his fault. The culture we have right now is not Mike Riley's fault. I'm tired of this. Everyone badmouths Mike Riley and they have no clue about sports, about teams, about continuity and anything. Leave that be.
Mm-hmm. I will disagree with you in a sense.
When did you play for him?
Yeah, I never played for him.
I'm the only one. It was only an all-star game, but the things he did, even in that, I was like, I could play for this guy.
But I've been around Mike Riley since I was a kid. I grew up 35 minutes away from him. He's an awesome coach. I do think he does have some fault in the culture, but that shit was done years ago.
No. Not in Scott Frost's culture.
He doesn't have any.
Not even in year one. Not even in year one.
He doesn't have any fault in Scott's culture. I would say since year one, but if you're a coach that Scott's supposed to be, then that culture issue is solved within 6 months of taking over.
I was going to say PJ Fleck. Everything that I've heard, I had a guy that I played with he played at Minnesota. And he had buddies still with PJ Fleck. They hated him. You know why? Because he changed the culture in like a day. And he said, no. And if you do this, you're kicked off the team. There were so many people kicked off the team at kicked off number 1. That's when the culture set. It's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But you have to be strong in it. But I'm saying it like Mike Riley had no fault in the culture.
Yeah.
Like I don't
he
even
had
know
a tremendous amount of fault during his administration here.
But I don't know if he did. We don't know. Like, I never played for him in that. Like,
that's all on program.
I know, but it's all on hearsay.
Yeah, but I was around a fair amount, and I got to watch a lot of things happen. I think he's a tremendous coach, and I know we've talked about this before, maybe in an unpopular opinion, but I think Mike Riley and Tom Osborne are the same guy. Very, very similar.
It's just his
personality.
I see where you're going with this now. I see where you're going with, and this makes sense.
Tom Osborne knew that about himself. He knew what he was as a coach, so he hired psychopaths people as a staff. Mike Riley hired a bunch of Mike Rileys to be his staff, and that affected the culture poorly.
That's fair.
But Scott comes in, if he wants to, that's fixed immediately.
4 seconds. It's not Mike Riley, but it's not Mike Riley's fault.
No. And Scott was still blaming Mike in year 3. So, bro, you're in year 3. Those players.
I mean, they're not even here. And like that's the thing is it's like, it's just tough for me to swallow a little bit they're not even those players aren't even around. They're not even around. Those 3 players or not. Those 3 years of players aren't even around. And it's like, it's crazy that we're in year 5 and people are still saying Mike Riley. They're screaming Mike Riley. It's like and I don't why didn't they say, oh, it's Bo Pelini's culture. That's why Mike Riley's not doing well. And
people around here still blame Callahan.
That's people still think Bill Callahan's not a great coach. And I'm like, anytime people say something about that, I'm like all on Bill Callahan's. I'm like biggest fan. Because like that makes no sense. If it weren't for Bill Callahan, we wouldn't be in this situation. What? Well, then why? If everyone thought everything was so good, well, why didn't they hire about Osborne's staff? Like, if they wanted everything like that, go hire Turner Gill or Ron Brown then. You know what I'm saying? If you're still blaming all that stuff, and then just see what like, and maybe we'd have been turned around. But what I'm saying is like, give it a break.
I had a fan walk up to me
Oh no.
on the streets and say, all of this started with Callahan,
That's not true.
and then said, we shouldn't have moved away from the triple option. And if we would have never brought in Callahan and we would have kept Solich and continued to run the triple option, then we would just be killing it. And I'm just like, wow, this is a conversation that's happening right now.
That's bold, Cotton. I mean, but that's what's hilarious about here, right? Like that's just a funny deal to think that. But it's also like, hey, it's almost like people have been blindfolded and they've just been able to listen to the radio. Like they haven't been allowed to watch the football games. And they just listen to what the people say. And they're like, oh my gosh, we're really good. It's like you haven't watched a play in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of silly. And you know what? I could agree with you strongly on your assessment of Riley. Like maybe he didn't hire enough good leaders, and that's part of the gig is you have to hire enough good leaders. He's a very good offensive mind.
Mm-hmm.
But you might be super right on that. But the thing is still, even with it still wasn't his fault, and we were still competing. Like
Mm-hmm.
so like it's a tough predicament. Some fan said something like
Last year,
it's crazy.
think about this. If we take any of Mike Riley's years and we had one of those
getting a
years,
10-year, $100 million contract.
Last year, if we would have had any one of those years, Frost gets extended.
Like for a lifetime contract.
Yeah.
But it was Mike's fault.
Yeah. Jeez. I don't know. It's like our marketing department or our media is run by millennials.
It's almost like we're spending more time on recruiting.
None of it is our fault. None of it is our fault.
No. That wasn't our fault. We didn't recruit these guys.
Because life is hard.
Well, this is year 5. These are Mike Riley's recruits.
It's not Scott's fault. It's because life is hard. The Big Ten was being mean to him, and they gave him a tough schedule.
Callahan ruined our offensive line. What? Callahan ruined our offensive line? Oh, all those offensive linemen under Callahan that played in the weird.
That was another argument that I heard. Because we were so outspoken about COVID as a football organization, the Big Ten was trying to punish us by giving us the toughest schedule.
Okay,
possible.
Nebraska fans, you're joking me?
Oh no, that was true.
So you're telling me
They were saying that
then that is the reason that we went 3-9, because our schedule was tough.
Illinois.
Yeah. You understand, in football, to be good, you got to play good teams and beat good teams. You don't get to win all the softball tosses.
the SEC, and they don't play very much good talent in that league.
Right.
I know. They're terrible. Like, I mean, what the heck?
I think the SEC, well, sorry, I should say this. I think the Big Ten is as close to NFL football as you can get in college. I will say that the SEC has better teams, but the discrepancy between the really good teams and the kind of teams is a lot further apart than in the Big Ten.
Yeah, their really good teams are really good.
Really, really good.
Yes. Oh gosh, I agree with you. I just
But in the Big Ten, you got to get up to play every single week. I don't care who you're playing, because there's teams like Northwestern and Purdue that, yeah, they may not be great at the time, but they're going to ruin somebody's season every year if you let them. You got to get up and play. So it doesn't matter the strength of the schedule. You got to go play.
Bro, but the thing is, like, think about it. We're in the Big Ten West. This wasn't because of our outspokenness from COVID. We still have to play Iowa. We still have to play Wisconsin. We still have to play Purdue. We still have to play Minnesota. We still have to play Northwestern. And why do we have to play them? Because they're in our division.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to change. That will never change. And the thing that people aren't thinking
They should
about
be glad
is
we aren't in the other side of the division. It'd be a lot tougher.
we play it. Yeah, we still play at Rutgers this year. That could be interesting. We still play at Michigan this year. Like, yeah, we're lucky we're not in the other side. Then we're playing Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State. Oh my gosh, you think that's a easier schedule?
Penn State.
Oh, Penn State too.
Yeah, it's not easier over there.
Yeah, I mean,
and you don't want it to be easy. That's stupid.
Let's just, everyone, go in your closet. Hopefully you have one. Put on a thinking cap. Put on a thinking cap and just like think realistically, like in reality, like Slaw likes to do.
Mm-hmm. Just realities.
Like, let's not like, I'm all into imagination. And when you have kids, you have to, and especially when you have little girls, they're playing Tea Party and princesses, you're going to have to live outside of reality a little, but not in Nebraska football. Not in Nebraska football.
This episode is brought to you by Omaha Steaks. Actually, Omaha Steaks wouldn't do it because we actually are testing reality with Nebraska football, so nobody wants a part of it. Yeah. Sorry, Omaha Steaks. Now no one's going to go to you anymore.
Yeah, that's on us.
Yeah.
We're with Sandhills Publishing.
I don't even know what Runza. None of these people. They really don't want to sponsor us.
No. Nope. And what are the special hot dogs they do in the stadium? They don't want a part of us either.
Fairbury Franks.
There you go.
They don't.
Yep. Hy-Vee wants nothing to do with us on this episode.
No. Anything Nebraska is like,
no,
we are not sponsoring them.
No, not at all.
The national one that I thought we were going to get was ESPN, though.
Yep. They would 100% be on this. They might rerun this because it's good stuff.
Yeah, they might. I wonder if they're going to reach out about having a show on ESPN.
Yeah, they threw out the bait of saying they're ranked 35th, and the real people that played the real game, that understand the game, than most of us that don't, came on and knew it was fake news, and they called it out, and that's exactly we played in their trap.
I love
job,
that.
ESPN. So who's got a better marketing department? Nebraska or ESPN?
It would be like
Jokesters.
ranking Northwestern number 50 after what happened last year with Northwestern, but they'll never do it because Northwestern's marketing department just isn't as good.
Yeah.
Have you seen a cool video of Northwestern football yet?
No, but LSU's got the best marketing department I've ever seen in my life, ever. The
And
videos come out, look like they could be in a Hollywood trailer every week. They're so good.
I want to go to LSU right now.
Right. I remember somebody came out and said, somebody famous, or somebody like one of us studs in the NFL is like, dude, why does I want to go back and play for LSU just because
that's why Brian Kelly went there.
Probably.
And then he talks. And then
did you ever see that video of him doing it with the recruit and then the recruit never went there? Like, I still don't get it. And they're like, it's amazing.
Did Brian Kelly ever wear no, he didn't wear a jersey. That would have been funny. But did you see him talking? They were joking around about him saying "my family," and he tried to get a.
He tried to have the Louisiana accent.
I loved it.
Yeah,
my family. It's like,
I think he's a good dude. I don't know much about him, but he seems like he's a good dude. I think he's a good coach too.
I think he's gonna murder it down there.
I think he had to be toned back at Notre Dame. He's fiery. I
honestly think they're gonna go.
Oh, he's gonna do well.
Few years, they're gonna do unreal. They're actually one of my favorite teams right now.
Yeah.
Because I want to be a part of their family. What about you, Sly? I might go to grad school down there and just to
There's
it
not a whole lot of teams I pay attention to. It's just the Huskers and
I pay attention to them now.
maybe Iowa are the teams that I kind of pay attention to.
I also pay attention to teams that Nebraska fans hate, or just even coaches hate. Like certain people, like I pay attention to Minnesota because everyone hates PJ Fleck, yet he's successful. It's hilarious. Like,
yeah,
it's just like I don't care how he coaches. Maybe I would not want to play for him, and maybe he's fake, but he's doing something right football wise.
Yeah,
I don't remember what game it was last year, but it was early in the year, and Minnesota was playing somebody.
Michigan State was like the first
Ohio
game of the
State.
year.
Ohio State.
They played them both really well.
Yeah, Ohio State. They were taking the reason it was like the first game, and they were taking them like they were back and forth.
Is that the game the running back blew his ACL?
Hurt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or not ACL, is Achilles or something.
Yeah. They got gutted with skill players.
And he was running all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember
he's back, by the way,
watching our game and watching us lose to Illinois.
That was
and then follow it up with and listen, I never watch other teams play. And
he's well versed in the college football world.
I just flipped on the Minnesota Ohio State game, and I'm like, holy crap. Just everything about this game is just different. The level of play, the passion, the fire, the intensity, everything about it. I'm just sitting there watching it, just like, wow, just watching this, I can feel it. But yeah, we're ranked 35th in the country now.
Hey, you know what's funny is if you think about it, I thought about it. When Nebraska went on a run of close games, that's what we have to talk about, not a run of wins. We went on a run last year of competing. It was after Slaw went in and talked to the offensive line. You won't talk about it, and they were like juiced up, and then they played Oklahoma, competed with them, and then every game. How were you not on the payroll?
I'll accept checks.
They don't do that.
They don't do that down there.
They don't pay anybody that played there.
Hey, can you come in and talk about the past and try to get these kids excited about what happened 20 years ago? It's like, whoa.
Yeah,
how much? Crickets.
And they're not going to want to talk about.
I will say that conversation was had multiple times. I've had a lot of people at me on the Twitter sphere and say, hey, why don't you go down there? I'm sure they'd love to have you. Well, listen, people, I've had that conversation multiple times.
Money would have to be at place and not regular coaching hours.
Yeah, they have called me and said, hey, can you come help us? I said, sure, let's talk dollars and cents. And then I don't get a call back.
It's almost like we have no money at Nebraska, yet we're paying our marketing team.
And we're paying for some other things too. We're paying for cover-ups. But
shots fired.
Boom, 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 boom.
I'm not going to say what those cover-ups are. I'm not going to do that, but I know there are cover-ups happening. And we're paying for that. So
could we pay a offensive line consultant then?
Yeah, and I've already had that conversation with the current O-line coach.
Yeah,
still waiting on the callback.
Yeah, we'll see if that ever happens. No, it's not his decision.
Yeah, and it isn't up to Scott either. It's
Who's it up to?
I don't know.
I don't even know if it's Trev's. Like, I wonder who's making these calls.
Yeah, it's got to be like the board or something. But if they're,
what if it was the pres?
If it's their board, like, or the president of the university or whoever the fuck it is.
No. I wasn't talking about.
We know. Pretty sure.
I was honestly talking to president of Mutual of Omaha because they're from.
They wouldn't sponsor us either. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They would not. That's a good one.
whoever it is, I'm sure they listen to our pod all the time.
Or the president of like First National Bank. You know what
Yeah,
I'm talking
they
about. Come
wouldn't
on.
sponsor us
No,
either.
they wouldn't either.
But I want you to understand something. Whoever you are that's in charge of paying consultants, look at Alabama. Look at
They have
LSU.
tons. They pay.
They pay
I think
4
they pay-
sports psychologists. Four.
They pay consultants like 6 figures. don't
Yeah, it's
they?
ridiculous.
Like,
yeah,
but they're good.
Yeah, they are good.
yeah, they
But
compete.
Nebraska continually will not pay their consultants.
And I'm sure they've
haven't-
been paying cover-ups there too.
They haven't paid a consultant since Commander Jack under Pelini, right?
He never got paid.
He never got paid.
And then
He thought it was
they
going to
never
work
got-
into a paying job.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
no.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nebraska's always kind of been like the, like the cousin of like a professional football player, and just taking advantage.
You talking about
But-
anything specific?
No, but I'm just saying, like the player gets not like they're helping. They never get anything. Yeah, maybe not the same. But I'm just saying, like they don't.
Yeah, because isn't there a situation going on down in Kansas City where a certain player has a family member that's rolling around like he's the starting quarterback of the Chiefs?
It's it's one of those things. It's one of those things. It's just it's a tough situation. Like Nebraska just they do take advantage of past players or whatever. And it's
Mhm.
like, and then now I will say this: they have, and I'm sure they paid them a lot. They have had people come in and have them have a day of like running in sand or
Yeah, like fake boot camps.
yes.
And they might
it's
pay
like,
some.
It's like we are stronger together. We are ready. We are ready to go. We are united. Our culture's set. But wait a second. Let me see if there's a couple Mike Riley cultures in here. Oh, there is. We got a couple excuses.
Mhm.
I just think it's going to
how
get
many
to
of
the
those
point.
boot camps I've been through as a player? Countless. You know what they do? I got a ton of respect for the military,
Oh, yes.
but you know what these special forces boot camps do for football teams? Nothing. They don't do anything.
What is it? What is it that works then? I would love to know. So that
I should say
doesn't.
this. I should say this. It's not that it doesn't work. It does work, but there are things,
But
that
not
do-
if it's
that
not
do the
implemented
exact-
afterwards. Yeah.
right? But when your team goes and plays paintball together, it does the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Because it's about having like a sense of oneness, a sense of team, family.
Competition.
Yeah, you're competing as
You could even go a cheaper route though, so then you can hire an offensive line consultant. Go have a water balloon fight.
Yeah. Sounds cute.
I'm just saying. It sounds cute, but like
Charades.
you'd get people if you just had like thousands of water balloons. Guys,
Mhm.
Yeah.
they're trying to drill them. Like I don't think that's the way to win games, but I'm saying like there's so many different ways. Slaw.
Yeah, my let's see, I went through it at Nebraska once. When I got to the Jets, I think it was one of the years we went and played paintball as a team,
I'd
and we did pretty good.
I honestly think it's probably more beneficial in the league than it is in college
Mhm.
because you're not spending like time off the field and you know what I'm saying? Like you're
Yeah.
there for the season and then maybe some off season workouts, but it's like maybe just doing something outside of the facility, like a fun game or whatever, even though you didn't want to. It's like that makes a little more sense, I think, maybe in the league, college.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, I was saying early on in my career, we played paintball and we did very well in that year. My last year at the Jets, we brought in a Navy SEAL team, worked all summer with them. And then at the end, right before training camp, we all went out to the owner's farm and they had set up like an actual boot camp out there for us. And that year we were trash. Now that doesn't mean like getting involved with military stuff makes you trash. It doesn't. But we also did it at the Bears, and it went very well. And my last year at the Chargers, Anthony Lynn came in, and he was all about like unity, team, whatever. So we went and played paintball as a team. And guess what? Well, I mean, we still didn't go to playoffs, but there was still like a glimmer of hope, like, oh, things are getting better now. And now the Chargers obviously are a lot better now. But I mean, all that stuff is just fake news. It's a talking point. It doesn't necessarily change anything.
What does though? If there's anything you can think of, like what does change? Like what is the
I'll tell
thing?
you what
What would you do? So what would you do instead of bringing these in and say, all right, from your past experiences, like what does bond you in that? Is that just the day in, day out grind?
Yeah, it's the grind, but it's got to be the right grind. It isn't just going in and working hard just to work hard.
Right. That's
or work hard one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
It's to work hard with
All the
everybody
time.
having the same vision.
Consistently,
the same
every
path,
day.
the same direction. It is the head coach setting the bar. The very first day, put up there the championship trophy, the college championship trophy, putting it on the wall. Say, this is why we're all here, because that is real. You don't coach unless you want to win it all. You don't play unless you want to win it all. You don't play because you're like, oh, I hope to be 7-5. You don't play for that. You play to be a champion. So you put that trophy up on the wall. Nebraska's got three of them outside the trophy case, or outside the team room, the big BCS college trophies, right outside the team room. You say, this is what it's about, and this is what we're working towards every day. And this is what I expect from you every day. And you just hold all the players to that bar. The bar doesn't move ever. The players got to move. The coach has to move. If they aren't coaching to the bar, it wasn't good enough. And look, those days are going to happen. The coach is going to make a mistake. The player is going to make a mistake. But you have to have accountability immediately. Scott Frost can't afford to make a mistake. He has to be at the bar every single day because he's running the thing. Yes, not at the bar, at the standard. As a head coach, you got to hold yourself to that standard every single day. And you have to hold yourself accountable first and foremost. And everybody who's not meeting the bar, you got to call them out publicly in front of the team, in front of everybody. Say it wasn't good enough. And whoever that guy is going to apologize and get better. And everybody else is going to see it. Say, shit, I don't want that to be me ever. Culture is a pretty easy thing to fix. Sorry, it's a simple thing to fix. It's not always easy, but it's simple to do it. It's just sometimes it's hard. All right, moving on.
I have to unmute my audio. Usually this is where I cuss. Really, some things that just aren't inappropriate, but I'm not going to. So, laying on the couch last night, I flicked through and Man in the Arena was on, which I haven't watched any of them, and so I watched. I happened to watch the year that you guys went to the Super Bowl. And they showed you scoring the touchdown, which is pretty cool. I was like, my guy, Danny Woodhead. So shout out to that. It's pretty cool. You probably didn't know that, or you've seen it. Have you watched any of it?
Yeah, I've watched some of that one because I heard about it.
Okay, cool. So good shout out to you. Cool.
Thanks.
But now,
Barely remember it. No,
years
just kidding.
later after that, Woodrow's Wisdom, by the way, just a quick, easy one.
Yeah.
Your guys' days used to be nonstop football, 8 to 10 hour days. Like that was your routine. And then you come home and try to be a dad as well as you could. Right. So what is the perfect day for you now? What does that look like?
Man,
Like, just say like, this is the most amazing day. Like this is what happens through the day compared to what you came from.
I'm gonna move forward to it doesn't have to be summer. I'll go the perfect day in school, right? I get up, I do my standard daily stuff. I'll usually work out right from the get, and then go upstairs, get kids breakfast, yada yada yada. And then my wife takes the kids to school. I stay home with our youngest, and then she does whatever. That's usually when I either read my Bible or whatever. Sometimes I'll do that before working out, but whatever. Could be then, could be after the kids go to school. And then honestly, my wife will come back. My youngest might go to school depending on the day. And then I head out to the club and I have a tea time. I play, I get in a fun little game. Slaw knows about those. And next thing you know, it's over. I come home around the time that usually a little bit before the kids get picked up. I stay with the youngest. Kids come home. We help them with homework, help them with spelling, help them with whatever. And then we have a family dinner. And really, that's just the day in the life right now. And it's funny because, man, throughout that, though, I have so much going on in my head. Like, because the NFL is over doesn't mean because when I was in the NFL, even in the off season, my mind would race. Like, it'd be like, all right, I got to do this. I got to do this. And it's like, Danny, you just got done playing. You have a month off of lifting, but I was always trying to get better. I was always trying to do whatever. And that was, that was hard. Like, if looking back, because too, I also felt like it's like I have to save my job every year. Now I'm not in that situation, but my mind does the same thing. And I think Slaw will, if he chimes in a little bit later, will agree with this. I am a very high, like, achievers, one of my top strengths, competition's number one. So like I have stuff going through my head all the time. It's just, what am I passionate about right now? Well, right now I'm passionate about golf, and I haven't not been playing up to snuff. So like, but even if I am, it's still like a constant like thought of like, how do I get better? What's that fill in my swing that I need to fill in order to hit it straight? And it's crazy because like, that's literally what goes on in so we're up for, let's say 14 hours, right? Not all 14 hours is I'm thinking of different ways to get better. A huge chunk is, and I probably need to get better at that in a little bit of a way. Be like, okay, like, am I trying to, is this becoming like too important? Because that should never be my number one priority. But that is something I'm passionate about. And I mean, just even the last month, as weather's been terrible, but like it's starting to get temperatures where you can play. Like, I'm thinking of that constantly. And I love that about myself. And I absolutely despise that about myself. Like, it is hard to turn it off. Like, if there's a switch, sometimes I feel like the switch is stuck to on, and it's like, I can't turn it off. It's hard, but but I still love it too. It's like a weird, twisted relationship I have with golf and with things that I'm passionate about. So yeah, that's a day in my life. And it's a constant thing. Like, I'll be honest, like, even as we've been podcasting this morning, I've thought about golf. Like, we haven't talked anything about it, And I've thought about that. Like it's like my take back. Oh, this. Like I can't, like, I don't know. It's something that is hard to deal with, but I also love it. So that's kind of the day in my life. And then I just have different things that go on in my head. So obviously my faith's my number one. I have different things about faith going on in my head. Like I just, like, it's always going. I wonder if people think like, oh man, their life's so easy. Or like the new business I'm like going into, or like the family stuff. Like my mind, if people are like, man, my mind goes crazy, it's like, that's okay, because a lot of people have crazy minds. They have a lot of thoughts. And it's just like, what do you put your energy towards, and like how much of it? Like there's times I need to put less energy towards golf. I really do. And that's okay. I'm admitting.
No, I feel you there. I'm in this predicament right now. Got this big tournament coming up down in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
I leave day after tomorrow. And my swing is in a really good place right now. And I want to keep it. But
That's scary. It's almost like you want to be in between. You don't want to be bad and you don't want to be too great. Because
right.
When it's bad, you're like, I got to get there. When it's great, you're like, I can't lose it.
But I also know that, like, I got this little elbow issue going on right now because I just been grinding really hard to, like,
well, and you're hitting off a mat, which
destroys my elbow.
Right.
So I got to keep it, but I also got to rest. And I know rest would do me good because I've just been grinding and grinding and grinding. But then what if I friggin' go to grab a club on Wednesday and I'm blind? I don't want to do that.
That would be tough. Like, you're actually blind or just blind with your swing?
Sometimes with my swing, bro. Sometimes I swear I just like lose vision for a second. I completely changed up things I'm doing putting. The last 3 rounds I've had have been awesome.
Atrocious.
Awesome putting.
Oh.
Like whatever I changed. There was one day, it might have been the last time I played with you, but like I putted really, really well on the front and then just went blind nation on the back.
Yeah.
Started having like mini strokes when I'd go to putt.
That's difficult to make putts when you're doing that.
Yeah. And so I changed a couple things in my setup and my grip, and holy crap, just like brought all my feels back. And so that's awesome. So I'm kind of in the same way, complete different philosophy, in like a full swing with an iron, but I found where I need to get to and I know how to get there. It's just kind of a new move for me to get it there. So it's kind of uncomfortable, but I'm in this place where I'm like, holy crap, this feels amazing. And just every shot is just, it's not rushed, it's smooth, it's long, and just hitting the crap out of it.
I'm not there,
but I don't know what I should do, if I should rest or if I should not rest.
See, that's the thing. It's like a panic. Like I don't know when I'm not panicking about my golf swing. When I'm hitting it terrible, I am restless and panic. And I think about it when I like wake up in the middle of the night. When I'm grooving it, I'm loving it, but I'm like, oh my gosh, is this going to stay? And it's like it's also a panic, right? And it's like, what the heck? Why am I hitting it so good? And then when you're in the middle, you're kind of okay, but you're still kind of panicked.
Yeah, because you're trying to get better. You're like, well, I'm doing okay, but I know I can do better. So you're panicking to get better. And then when you get better, you're like, I know I'm going to lose it soon. So how do I get back to better?
It's kind of funny because we love golf so much and it brings us so much hurt the whole time.
It does.
The only, like, so much hurt. The only thing that I feel pretty good with when I'm doing it well, or that I'm never like scared of, I was going to say putting, but I'm terrified a lot of that. but I would say chipping. Chipping is not like the one thing that I'm like always now. That could happen, but I'm saying like it's like either I can put it in a decent realm, right? But the full swing and putting can give you nightmares.
Bro, last week when I played, I had this whole plan for chipping, this whole entire plan. I'm like, oh, this is going to go so good. And I worked on it before, like on the chipping green. I'm like, yes, this is nails. Working on this like high chip where it just lands so soft and ball just lands like a little butterfly. Get to the first hole, hit a really good drive.
Miss the green, obviously.
Well, second shot, I missed the green just barely. Like it was a very front pin, like the frontest of pins you can have on one.
Mm-hmm.
And I just missed it left. Just like a little bit left.
Chip.
Yeah. I'm like, perfect. But it sunk down in like this hole. And I'm like, no, because now I can't play that. But because it's in this hole, like I don't know what shot I can play. So I have to like try to like dig it out of there. You know what I did? I hit like 2 inches behind the ball. And it ruined me because then I was in a position where I had to chip I don't know, a bunch more times. Just on the front alone, I lost 6 strokes chipping. Just on the front. And on the back, I said,
yeah, but the thing is with chipping,
screw this.
It's not going to last, though. You know what I'm saying? Like the full swing
right.
in putting can kind of just linger. And you're like, ugh.
Yeah. So on the back, I just moved the ball further back in my stance and just said, let's just go back to what I do. And everything was fine.
Yeah. You always have to have a comfy shot. Yeah. I don't have anything else for that, Scott, unless you have a question with it all.
No, I think that's great. And, I love it when, you guys talk about, everybody thinks you guys do have it so easy. And, what the things that make you great are sometimes the things that you have to control, right? Like your mind and always wanting to be better. There's that. It's just being perfect in that balance of like too much, not enough, too much, not enough. And then being able to be at peace with yourself. If for some reason you couldn't do everything you wanted to do that day, like that's not easy, right? Yeah. How do you make yourself, I mean, like, look, if a kid's sick at home all day, you're not going to play golf. Right.
Well, I can't remember the last time I was at peace with my golf swing.
There you go.
Something you said a little bit ago. I mean, some you've talked about a lot, how like competition's your number one thing. Mm-hmm. And, when I look at my kids, our second.
Is this story time?
No.
Oh, okay. I was
just kind of adding on to your deal. Our second kid is one of the most competitive people I've ever been around. It's actually kind of alarming in a sense. And my oldest kid it's not competitive at all. And I'm always like telling myself or telling my wife, I'm like, look, we don't have to worry because I was like that when I was his age. I'm starting to realize and just like reflecting back, I've been a lot more competitive than I thought that I was. I mean, one of my kids was at a birthday party. I won't go into too much detail on that, just to protect people. But I was coaching basketball this year, and my wife was talking to the mother of this other kid, and the mom said, "Oh yeah, we don't." Basketball was a bit of a wake-up call this year because we don't raise our voices in our house. So being with Coach Matt was a new experience for him. And I couldn't help but think like, God, I just want to smack the crap out of these parents. Like, what do you mean you don't raise your voice in your house? Like what? You're raising your kids off Care Bears? I mean, Jesus. You got to be a parent. It's okay to raise your voice and let your child know like things are important.
I don't know
So-
how to do it any other way. Like I know there's positive reinforcement. I understand there is a calm, there's misdirection, the way to do things.
Mhm.
Doesn't work for me very well.
Well, and I feel like you're missing some of it.
I love Care Bears.
Like when I talk to my oldest about sports, obviously, like right now he doesn't care about sports. He loves school, just absolutely loves it. And I tell him, I said, yes, school is incredible and it will take you everywhere you want to go. But how to deal with your life is where sports come in. You're going to excel at school and you aren't going to take very many losses in school, but you got to learn how to take a loss first and foremost. And I don't care if you're the greatest athlete ever. You play on a team sport, you're going to lose more than you win. And we as people need to understand that. And parenting is kind of the same way. And I know we've talked about this, but when you're just doing the positive, soft stuff, you're missing a piece of the pie. It's okay to let kids know like this is a serious, important thing. And it's good for them to know that. Because guess what? Life is going to yell at them. You want to make your kid ready for life, right? I mean, the whole reason we have kids is to, make them awesome, make them ready for everything so they can do better than what we did. Be more successful, be better spouse, a better parent, everything. You're just trying to breathe better into your kids at all times. And if you don't get your kids ready for life, it's going to be a tough road for them. But anyway, I don't know how we got on that topic. I just know that I want to admit to you, Danny, that I think I've been a little bit more competitive throughout my life than I've been willing to let on.
I love that.
Yeah.
As you should be. I want to destroy you the next time we play.
A couple of years ago, I bought this planter for my tractor. No idea if this thing worked. It's just been sitting outside of the barn for the last 2 years or so in a heap. And for our holiday farm that we're still hoping to open this fall, I have to start getting ready to plant here in another week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't know. And never ran a planter before. Don't know anything about it. And yesterday I just decided, let's just get going on this. And no idea how anything worked. And I wanted to see how quickly I could figure it out for no other reason than to just see if I could do it. See if I could see where things go, see where things fit, see how things operated. All while having no idea how this thing actually works. And I got that thing figured out real fast. And I was so pumped for myself. I mean, it sounds like I'm just kind of gassing myself up here, but I'm really not trying to. It's just, I just love competing with myself, probably more than anything. Competing against other people is awesome. But like when you and I go and play golf, obviously it's a lot of fun, but I know how things are going to go. I'm well aware of you being a way better golfer than I am. So even when even when you're giving me a lot of strokes and, I can do well, 9 times out of 10, I'm losing every time. So I compartmentalize and I'm just trying to play my game and my shot. And I love just competing with me. That is the most fun thing for me. Like, yeah. So not last time we played, the time before that, when I beat you, that's like the only time in my life I've beaten you. And since then, well, not since then, but recently, like I never beat Blake either. And then I've beaten him twice in the last couple deals. That isn't important to me. Now for a second it's fun to go like, oh, sweet, yeah, finally. But then it just goes out of my head. What's super fun for me is like, I just beat myself. And that's fun.
I like beating myself.
I like
Got a
doing it
feeling.
a few times, a few times a
I'm saying,
day.
like, I
Got a
really,
feeling that's
I
where
like
this was
to,
going to go.
I actually wasn't going to that. I was saying that I like it is very satisfying. Like if I shot like a 6 under, like, cause that would be, you know what I mean? Like, or like even just going in the 60s, like I really like that. But I really, really also like beating other people a lot. Like I like winning. I really do like winning.
Mhm.
And I want people to know that I won and they didn't. I won't say it. I mean, to you, I'll say it,
Mhm.
but to most people, I won't say anything. But I like knowing and leaving the round. I like it that they know they lost to me.
But I think that kind of plays into our similarities and differences.
Yeah.
Because you loved basketball and football. You loved them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hated them.
Right.
Thought it was so dumb. But I loved track and field.
And I hated it.
Yeah. Because you need the competition with somebody else. I need the competition with myself.
Yeah.
And not to say one's better than the other. But I it always irritated the hell out of me that I could go and play the best game of my life in a football game and we could get absolutely throttled. That really bothered me. And then on the flip side, like I could just be having my heart crushed out of my chest by some savage and we win. We just dominate the other team. And that's like, well, how did I just contribute? I was getting my ass whooped the whole entire day. So when you look at individual sports, that's something that fires me up because it's just me against me. Am I bettering myself today?
I think I do like that though and I never liked it with like other sports, but I think that's something I do love about golf. I really do. I definitely love that about golf is that I'm trying to get better every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to do everything I can to get better. Not much I can really do to get better today because it's a Monday and the clubs are closed, but
But there's been, so many documentaries and interviews and whatever else done about Tiger because, Tiger is he's like the main case study for sports psychology, I guess.
yeah.
Because golf is an individual sport. It's you against you, but it's you against the field and it's you against the course. So I think that's what makes it fun because there's something for everybody in that game.
For sure.
You're competing against the conditions, you're competing against the course and the other players in the field and yourself, your own mind, your own nerves, whatever else. And just to get Tiger's take on it, because I've heard other people's opinions on Tiger saying, oh, he doesn't just want to beat the field, he wants to demoralize the field. Well, I don't know if it's that.
I love that.
I don't know if
it
it's
is.
entirely that, because I think he's got it all. I think he wants to completely dominate,
Yeah.
like himself. Like he thinks, if people think that he can go out and shoot like a 65. He's gonna go, I'm gonna go shoot a 60. Fuck them. And the conditions are tough, so we aren't gonna get super low scores. Yeah, right. Watch this. He's just always just super competitive, and I'd be,
I love that.
I'll shoot him a call, see if I can get him on the pod.
I will say this: a guy that's been around people that have accomplished things that most haven't. There's just one common theme that I always say is like, you fuckers hate losing more than anybody in this world.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my observation. Like, losing is not an option. It's just not.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you do lose, it's only more fuel to the fire.
Yep. Oh, 100%.
And I'm not, none of my friends want to take people's throats out when we go play golf, and like wants to step on it and throw it out and do that. But none of us also are doing anything any special. I'm not saying that in a bad way, but like none of us competed at a high level in anything we've done. Right. But it's just a different beast. Like listening to you guys talk about competition. It's so fascinating.
Well, and like the thing is, I don't ever feel bad.
No, Danny, you don't. There's no sympathy. There's none.
No, there is none. But I'm saying, like, we rarely wager, right? We rarely put something on the line, right? Slaw.
I don't think a wager neither needs to happen, even though it does. But I don't think it needs to happen.
No, it never has to happen. There's a wager that always happens.
Yeah.
Yes, it always happens. So say we do wager, and say like Slaw's down in the wager a lot. I'm not saying this is how it goes, but sometimes we get to hole 16 or 17, and it's like they're down a lot. I'm just using Slaw as an example. Some people will be like, like almost like feel bad. I if I make a birdie putt and it doubles and everything, I do not feel bad. I don't care who you are. Just don't play the game. Don't play the wager game then.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I make that and I'm up a good amount of wagering, and we go to 18 and they say double or nothing, or not double or nothing usually, but they'll press to another wager, I'm doing everything I can to win that wager. So you're down even more, because it's like, silly you're doing that. You really think I'm going to lose? No, I am doing everything I can to take all of that wager too. And I'm okay with, like, sounds bad, but like, I don't really feel bad on the course, because I've also been on the other end, and it's like, that was my moronic wager. Like, that was on me. Like, I shouldn't have done that if I really didn't want to. And it's like, I don't really feel bad. And I do feel like, gosh, now we have to settle up. Yeah, that stinks. But it's like, that was my own fault. And I've never understood that when people get mad in a wagering game and they're mad that they have to settle up. It's like, you knew the rules. Just don't even do that, or don't even take part in it. I'm never offended if someone doesn't want to take part in it. But if you do take part in it, don't get mad. Like, that was kind of your fault.
I had that happen last week.
There's nothing that bothers me more than that.
So hole 13, the par 3 on the back there.
Hey, should we bring the kids in to listen to this?
Well,
this is good life lessons. But
yeah,
no,
okay, sure.
No.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Hey, Gabe, bring your buddies in.
Come on, Gabe.
Gather around, children.
Yeah. Okay. Slauson story time today is going to be a lot of stories, just because I want to recount the week.
I think this is good for them to listen to, though.
There was a lot of events that happened last week. And so I just want to go through them all. Nothing super exciting. I didn't almost die. Well, no, I did almost die, but
say you didn't.
Yeah, I'll get to that. But yeah, the golf round. I had a buddy of mine come out from Fairbury. He's one of my partners for this tournament coming up down in Missouri. So we're just playing a practice round. And man, he was struggling on the front. Well, he was struggling the whole time because we were playing banker and we get to the 18th hole and he was
the wagering gets higher.
He was down the most for sure. So we 13 old Blakey boy is banker and I knew I hit one good. So as soon as I hit it, I just yelled triple. Like, I don't care.
Why would you?
No, I hit it good. So I'm triple immediately. And he's like, that was fast. And we're watching it and it looks like it's about to go in the hole, but it hits and stops. So I got like, I don't know, 10, 12 feet and just bury it on him. Just bury it. So he was so mad. I love that. And he starts complaining. He's like, you would birdie, you would take it to $45 and just birdie it.
Yeah. And then get it to 90.
Yeah. Well, it was
not
5 to 15. And then the birdie, 5, 5-15. I don't know. Whatever it was.
So it's $30 then.
Yeah. No, it ended up being 45. How did it end up being 45? Maybe I was banker.
I thought you were saying it was 15. And then you tripled the 45 and then you birdied that took it to 90, which is a little aggressive.
No, I don't know what it was, but anyway, it was a good hole. We get to 18. So my buddy that I brought up as a guest is down the most. And, and he goes, what am I down? I said 60. And he goes, all right, 100 a guy.
He's down 60.
Yeah, and he goes 100 a guy, and he's like an 18 handicap.
You got a double.
So I loved it. I was like, yes. Blake was so mad. He was so mad. He's fucking bullshit. This is bullshit. I'm not golfing with you and your friends anymore. This betting is getting out of hand. I'm like, bro, you're still ahead. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, he was still ahead at the time?
Well, I was in first and Blake was in second.
But I mean, he wasn't like way behind.
No. I was in first. Another guy was in second. Blake was in third, but he was down like $5. And it's like, I'm not doing this bullshit. I mean, this guy is gonna just absolutely crush it off the tee. I'm like, okay, first of all, it doesn't matter what he's doing. Okay.
Well, and the thing is, in banker, you don't have to take the 100.
No,
you can take a much lower.
So I just stripe one and double it immediately off the tee. I finally didn't hit it in the lake on 18, so that was sweet. So just juice it off the tee, double it immediately, and my buddy's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
It's like juiced about it.
Yeah,
good one.
And then what does he do?
He doubled that.
I'm fully expecting him to top it into the lake.
He pounds it
past me.
Are you guys playing even? You both have a stroke there, right? Yeah, probably. If Blakey's setting it,
he was only getting a stroke on Blake there.
Yeah.
So that was.
So he doubled it.
No, he didn't double it because he was already in for 2 against me, and then 100 each against the rest of the guys. And I hit.
Oh yeah, because if he doubled that, he has to double the other ones too.
Right. So then, yeah, he would double everything, and it would be a
very pricey deal.
It'd be an $800 hole
for him.
And
gives me chills.
Blake ended up getting a par, and he was so mad. He's like, he's gonna go a 4 for a 3, and I'm gonna lose over 100.
Where did he hit his second shot?
He hit it on the right fringe.
Okay.
And so then he putted it down to, I don't know, probably like 6 feet, and
he missed.
So he's putting for a 4 for a 3. And I hit mine on the green. I almost drain a birdie on him, which I just missed the edge of the cup. And God, that would have been so awesome to just double it back with that. But I missed. So I got an easy par, and Blake got an easy par. And now he's going for kind of a shaky par.
Yeah.
But if he makes it, then
Blake goes in 105, or Blake
Yeah.
is down 105.
and he ends up missing the thing. So he ended up pushing everybody. And then I beat him. So that was sweet.
I think what Slaw's saying, children, is just put your head down and work and don't worry about the end result, because it'll end up all right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
And don't get into a game. All right, kids. I think you're too young right now, but I don't think any wagering should happen right now.
No.
Unless
But
it's
if
for
it
like
does,
who has to go get the Kool-Aid, or who has to go get I don't know, or like, okay, you win, I get your G.I. Joe. Do they even make those anymore? I don't know. But if it does, go ahead, Slaw.
yeah, but if it does happen, don't let the wager affect how you're playing or your mental
Right.
state. Just go play.
Like if you're 8 and you lose a couple hundred or $100 on a hole, if you're golfing with your friends, pay up. Don't complain.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, Blake ended up losing like $5, and I was telling him, I'm trying to calm him down. I'm like, bro, you have so much of my money right now from golfing.
From wagering.
Yeah. So just count it as like you're playing with house money here. So if you happen to lose a little bit, well, the ones you're losing is mine. So it's okay. And I'm going to get it all back.
Goodness gracious, Blake.
So the other stories, Monday last week, neighbor called and said, hey, I have 3 calves that I need to ear tag and vaccinate. You want to come help with that? I said, sure, got it. I knew I probably shouldn't do this, but went down to the barn and grabbed my lassos. And Cammie's looking at me. She's like, what are you doing? I said, oh, I'm going to go over neighbor's house and help him with the calves. And she goes, what are the ropes for? I don't know, just in case. She goes, yeah, you remember what happened last time, right? I said, I do.
I don't know what you're talking about. Not really sure what you're talking about.
Yeah, I do. When I roped a bull calf and almost lost my life.
Yep.
But I took him over, and his plan was to get him in this like big pen thing. That didn't work like that. So we tried for a while and it didn't work. So I decided, okay, grab the rope. And I threw one throw on one of the calves, and the hoop went right over top of the thing. But each side of the hoop, one side landed on the calf's nose, the other side landed on the calf's tail. So I'm like, what the hell? And it's just like sitting there like a halo over the thing. So I try to pull on the rope to try to get it to like drop and catch something, and it doesn't. It just squeezes together on like the head and the butt, and then eventually it just like pops straight up. And so the calf was free. I was like, damn, like I haven't even attempted to rope a cow since the last time I was over there roping a cow, and it ended poorly. So it's been, I don't know, probably a year since I've tried to rope. And I was pretty juiced on my first throw, went right over the top of it. Then I became far less juiced over the next like hour and a half, because I'm just chasing these things around, and I just cannot get anything close to catching it. So much so that I ended up scaring the calves through the fence into the much bigger field. They just said, we don't care if we're getting shocked, we're jumping through the fence and getting the hell out of here. So now they're with all the big mama cows. And so my neighbor's like, okay, we got to call it, because that ain't going to work. I mean, they're back there with the moms, and those moms are going to be protective. I said, I bet I could just kind of walk around over there and use the mama cows to like hide behind. I bet that'd work. My neighbor goes, I don't recommend it. I strongly don't recommend it.
So what do you do?
I said, well, let's just see. So we go over there, and I'm just walking around, and
Dumb.
yeah, walking around with my rope, and my neighbor's just watching me, and he's like, hey, you see that cow right there? You need to watch out for her. She's psycho. Like, she's going to try to charge. And I'm like, yeah, I'll just kind of hide in the trees a little bit and then duck out. And like, yeah, here we go. And so then I see the calf I want to get. And I'm kind of walking up, and I kind of push them all together in a group. And my neighbor's yelling at me. He's like, cow 308, she's the psycho. You need to watch out, because as soon as you try to put a rope on, she's gonna charge. Well, luckily that cow kind of got pushed away, but that calf's mom was like right there, and it would not leave. And so I kind of peeked around from behind the mom, and I threw the rope right in front of it, and this thing bolted right into the hoop, and I caught its leg and just dropped it. And so I run up and jump on the calf, and I hear my neighbor go, look out. And I turn around, and old mama is charging right at me. Mind you, this is like a 1,200 pound, 1,500 pound mama. And you get to find out real quick what type of man you are. And you know what I did? I put my knee on the back of this calf, and I flip around, and I shove my finger right in the face of that cow. And I say, hey, you knock it off. And that cow just stopped.
Oh my gosh, you're such a moron.
Yeah. Just, you knock it off. And it's just looking at me like, wait. I was showing that dude aggression, and then he showed me aggression. Like, what the hell do I do?
So the mama cow was kind of scared of you.
Yeah. And I was telling my
Knock
neighbor,
it off.
I was telling my neighbor before that, I said, obviously this cow knows that it's bigger than me, but I don't think it sees people my size. So I think there may be a second where I can confuse it if it wants to get aggressive.
So if it saw me, like, I'm done.
Science, man. Science.
Yeah, I just figured, hey, this might work. And if it doesn't work, it's going to go really bad. But if it goes good, then we get to tag and vaccinate the calf.
Oh,
and yeah,
goodness. Like, it was coming at you.
Oh, it was humming. It was humming, and I just turned around. Hey, you knock it off. And it just stopped. And I'm just holding my finger in its face.
You had to have been a little bit scared.
Oh, yeah. And this cow is just like, what do I do? What do I do?
Have you told Cammie this story yet?
No, I didn't. It was weird.
She's not going to listen to it.
Yeah. So we got it. We got the calf, and
bro,
the next calf was a similar deal, hiding behind one of the other ones, and caught its front legs.
You just pointed your finger and said, "Knock it off."
No, the mom on that one didn't charge, and then the other one
didn't care about its kid.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, to be fair, it was one of twins, so the mom's like, "Well, if that one gets fucked up, I got another one." And then the other one.
You treat your twins, Scott?
No, not absolutely, because we had a fucked one up coming out of birth, and we're like, yeah, if this one doesn't make it, that's okay. And it happened to be Gabe.
Oh, Gabe, you got way better parents than a Black Angus bull or Black Angus cow.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Didn't look at it that way, Danny. If to answer your question, I don't know if you're clear on that.
No, I figured you didn't look at it that way.
A little different values.
Yeah. A little different values than a mama cow.
It's good self-talk, though. Tell yourself when a bull's charging you, right? It's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Just kids. Just stick your finger right in the face and scream at it. It'll be confused. Hey, we
You
need
guys
to put a
might-
disclaimer on this episode.
You might
Yeah, all of
deal
it.
with this mainly with dogs because you're not going to be with cows very often.
Try it on
Don't
your
do-
cat first.
Don't do it to a pit bull. Stop it. Your
Knock it
hand
off.
might be bitten off.
All right. Third story.
Oh, there's another one. All
Right before that. This is just more special to me. It isn't, it probably isn't quite as entertaining, but for me, I'm fired up about it. Monty, my oldest, he decided next year he wants to start music in school, band, concert band type of stuff. So last week we had a meeting with the school, like instrument selection, and he really wanted to play the saxophone. So we were hoping that he was going to get approved for that. So on Monday, I took him to the music store to go pick out a new saxophone. Then I wanted to get a trumpet for myself, so him and I can jam out together, because I was a trumpet player, self-hype.
Let's go.
Yeah. So go to the music store and told him, and it's gonna be another self-hype. I'm sorry.
Love that.
Walk in and the guy goes, "What can I help you with?" I said, "Well, my son here is starting band and he wants to get a saxophone." And he goes, "Okay, these are our rental saxophones over here." I said, No. I want to buy self-hype. And he goes, "Sir, if you buy, like, we don't have like a buyback program if he switches instruments." I said, "Yeah, I don't care."
He goes,
That
I don't care.
I've already
We're
been through this. That's funny.
Yeah.
I had to return, had to go back with the tail between my legs and try to sell the guitar back. I did.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks later.
I said, "Yeah, I don't care, because I want to play the saxophone too." So if he does switch to something else, then we're just going to have like a whole band set up here. I also said, I want to buy a trumpet for myself. And he goes, "Well, that's our only for sale trumpet." It was some like beginner, like student trumpet. I said, "Well, you got any other ones?" And he goes, "Well, in our rental program." I said, "Can I buy one of those out of the rental if there's a good one?" He goes, "We do have a pretty nice professional series." Mind you, never had a nice trumpet before in my life. And he pulls it out and he goes, "This is a used one." I said, No, I don't want a used one. Come on. He goes, "Well, we do have the version of this brand new, but it's not cheap." I said, "Yeah, I don't care. I want it. Let's go."
That's such a you thing.
Yeah, so stupid. And now I hope Monty's really good at music, because now I can't afford to send him to college. I had no idea how expensive instruments were. Good Lord.
Are they expensive?
It's
Did
alarming.
you buy them?
Well, I bought them. We'll talk about it after the show.
There's a good wrap up moral of the story. And I took photographs for a very long time in my life. And here's one thing I learned. And here's what people would come and tell me all the time. I'm going to take pictures like you when I get a camera like you. None of that is true. Doesn't matter. None of it matters. Your phone, some of the most kick-ass pictures I've ever seen in my life with that eye have been through a phone. So don't wait to go buy the thing you need. Start now with what you have.
So you bought a trumpet. You bought a trumpet.
Bought a really nice trumpet. I bought a brand new student saxophone. And
A brand new what saxophone?
Student saxophone.
I don't know what that means.
Just like a beginner.
Oh,
like it's not. It's just like a standard saxophone that a student would play. I just got a brand new one instead of going through the rental program.
And I'm sure that was still pricey too. A student saxophone.
Yes, it is. And we so brought it home. He started playing. Found out it's a lot harder than just blowing in a mouthpiece. Now I knew that because I can play like, I don't know, 11 different instruments, self-hype again.
I love that.
We're going to have you on for story time. Play some shit for us.
Yeah. So, but I got like rejuvenated about it because he is just fired up. He wants to play this. Like the second he gets home off the bus, he's like, Dad, can we go play? And it's been a week. It's been a week. That's all he wants to do is that. And so I'm teaching him about all the basic notes. He wants me to teach him how to read music. And I said, well, buddy, you don't even start band until like the fall. So let's just slow down here. Let's just work on playing these notes very well. And I'll teach you a couple songs. What I found is while he's at school, I pull out the computer and I'm researching like songs to play. And then I'm practicing them while he's at school on the trumpet and the saxophone. And then when he gets home, then I'm teaching him new things that I learned in that just like hours before.
It's cool. Super cool.
Yeah.
Is he enjoying it?
Oh, he loves it.
And more than anything, like find out what your kids love.
Yeah.
Because if you do it with them, then it's your relationship just gets, I mean, that accelerates too, right? Because you're doing 100%. Things that they love. Like my son, now he loves Nintendo. Did I love Nintendo? Sure. Yeah. Do I still? Yeah, sure. But I'm saying like, even if it's there's other things that he doesn't love or that he loves that I never have loved, but it's like, learn to love what your kids love if you want to have an actual authentic relationship with them.
Mm-hmm. And these kids now, are obviously
music.
That.
Yeah. And music, obviously same thing. You liked it, right? Maybe loved it. So like, that's a good thing. But even if it wasn't, it's like, it just shows like, if you can just be passionate about, or even like just explore and actually try to be passionate about things that they love, you're going to end up being passionate about it if you really love your children anyways.
100%. Yeah. And it's fun because a lot of things are flooding back to me from, my days in concert band and pep band and jazz band.
Yeah.
And just so many things are it's a lot of fun to remember these things. And then, I was never a saxophone player. I learned how to play the saxophone through playing the trumpet.
Yeah.
And I also learned how to play 9 other ones. But I would never consider myself a player of anything else besides the trumpet. I just know how to play other ones. I'm not good in any capacity, but I know enough that I can teach my 11-year-old kid the basics on how to start. And man, he's going to be so much further ahead come the fall, because he's gonna know how to play all the notes on the thing and play them well. And he's going to know how to read music before he even starts. And most importantly, me and him have this shared memory for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, for sure.
I think kids, go ahead, Danny. I'm going to finish with something.
I was going to say, so kids, make sure that you love what your kids do. I know you're 8, 8 to 10.
Remember it though.
And don't have children yet, but when you do is kind of what we're saying.
Yeah.
And parents,
like 6 years.
And parents, 6 years, that's a good goal. And parents, let's not forget, go back to do things you did when you were a kid. That's healthy. It's creativity.
Yes. Yep.
Before life beat the shit out of you, go back to when you didn't.
Mm-hmm.